We are back in action. Lily's back in the building. We are doing the the number 2 Godly Woman podcast.
That's right. And to answer the question, no, I am not a woman.
Okay.
I do know that, someone's probably wondering that, as we all know, in today's society.
You got it.
It could be a thing, right?
You got to put it out there.
Yeah.
It's important.
I'm like, me too. So like, not I. No. So
not on here, not on this podcast. Sorry. So today we're talking about what we require. What do you require? Do you know what you require in
honestly, in life?
In life, friendships, relationships.
This is gonna get real personal.
I think this is gonna be a little deep.
Do we really want to talk about this?
I think this is a really good topic to talk about because
this is pretty tough.
A lot of the times I feel like we require certain things from other people, places, and things, but we don't reciprocate that.
Wow, that's deep.
It's very deep. And actually made me think like, dang, the stuff that I require from other people, do I give that back? Do I give that out? Is it a requirement for me to give what I require out to somebody else?
The audience agrees. This is so sad. This is gonna get real personal. I am the opposite. Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Wow.
I'm crying right now on the inside just sharing this.
Okay.
I am someone who does not require a lot from others. And that's something that I have to work on. Like I personally have no problem with giving my all. If it's something that I'm committed to, I will give my all. And I'll be like, if the person on the other end doesn't give their all, it's like, oh, that has nothing to do with me. I'm going to do my best. That's how I am. Like, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give my all. I was just talking to a business partner of mine in which we just went into a venture, and it's 5 of us, which by itself is a headache. 5 people is a headache. And we were talking, but kind of joking, but kind of being serious at the same time. And I just told him, I said, man, honestly, if it's just going to be you and I primarily doing like most of the work, like let's just call that as it is. And let's just say like, oh, it's just going to be us. And we should just have the equity and profits reflect that it's just going to be primarily us doing the work, right? Being the implementers and, in my opinion, the idea guys too. And he was like, no, I really think, he was like, no, I really want these other guys a part of it because I feel like that they bring value.
Right.
And I said, well, let's be honest. If we're doing projects based on the track record of this guy who's a developer, we're not going to, just because he's part of the organization, he's not going to give us, cheaper costs or cheaper labor.
Right. Yeah.
And he's not going to give us the project at a quicker time frame. It's probably going to be at a longer time frame because that's just been his track record. His track record is great to where the projects are great as far as quality, but as far as time frames are out. So if it's a 6-month time frame, it's going to have great quality. It's going to be like close to the top of the line when it comes to price. But it's going to be like, it's not 6 months, it's going to be 8 months. It's going to be 9 months for it to be done. And so I thought to myself, I said, wow, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should require more of people, or maybe I should have the same standards that I have for myself for other people. And so, that was a conversation I had with him just like Thursday or Wednesday of last week.
Wow.
Yeah. And so for me, unfortunately, I don't require a lot of other people. I feel as though I want to lead by example. Even though I know 99% of the time when you're leading by example on a team or even as a boss, as an employer, and people still are not giving their adequate amount of effort, or at least what I perceive as adequate amount of effort, like I don't even get upset. Like wow. So tomorrow, I'll be firing somebody, right?
Oh, wow.
Yes, I know, but I should have fired this guy last week. So he's already got full pay.
You already started off with the shenanigans.
If he's listening to this, it is what it is. But again, so no, I mean this episode won't go live by tomorrow, so he'll get the axe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. So
do you think that's not necessarily?
2 people actually. I'm finding two of these guys tomorrow. Yeah.
You're just a menace. Why are you doing that? It's needed. It has happened.
Keep in mind that they've been paid twice and on time, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But the productivity hasn't equated. And the thing is, past the training period, during the training, this is my fault. During the training period, their productivity wasn't even up to snuff. I still chose to, and that's on me. I still chose to
give them grace.
Exactly. And so then a week goes by, and guess what? Are they at the KPIs? No. So another week goes by, and they're still getting paid, obviously, right? And are they at KPIs?
Are you giving any type of corrective action with this? Or
yes. Yeah.
These are talks per milestone or per.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, for these guys, there's like an actual Slack group that is just us that talks, Yeah.
So they know that they've been slacking.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I think one of them could kind of feel that it was going to happen, to where last Tuesday, one's a guy, one's a girl. And so actually the girl on Monday messaged me directly and said, John, let's say there's another guy. John is doing really good with this task. I'm having a hard time competing with John. Mm-hmm. And I just said, okay, what is it that you're struggling with? Because John's doing great.
Right.
If KPIs are 5, John's at an 8. It's really good. And that's part of why I haven't fired the other 2.
Right.
Because it's like this one guy is like doing enough for the 3 of them.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be a group effort.
It's supposed to be a group effort, yeah.
And nobody else putting in.
No one else. They're not putting that work in.
That's one thing about groups, man. You got to pull your weight.
You do. And it reminds me of just like anything, like whether it's anything. So business, social organizations, it's like that, yeah. So
I wouldn't call it a character flaw, but do you think that is something that you can improve on? Like, do you know why you don't require from other people, or is it just like, does it go back?
Why are we getting so deep? Yeah, I do a lot of. So I'm the guy that, like, I will come home from work if I'm not working at home that day or whatever, and if everyone else is cool, I'll sneak upstairs and get in the tub and I'll reflect. And the truth is, this is way too personal.
I'm so sorry.
For the first, this is tough for the first. I mean, we haven't even reached 10 minutes. The real answer is, God, this is tough. Gee willikers. Next time let's have you go first.
Well, I was going to, but you just I was like, okay, well, go ahead, take the mic.
The real reason is lack of self-value. So I am okay with being my harshest critic, but I am not okay with being a heavy critique on others.
Got you.
And it's not that. I'm very. What is that word? Is it empathetic, sympathetic, where you can put yourself in someone else's shoes almost.
Empathetic.
And sometimes even as a landlord, horrible landlord.
You're a landlord?
Yeah, horrible landlord. Why am I a horrible landlord?
What?
Why
I
am I
learned something about my best friend. I didn't even know he was a landlord.
Horrible landlord. Why am I a horrible landlord? Because if you tell me a sob story. Okay. Matter of fact, this is crazy. So matter of fact, there was this tenant. So I
can see that about you.
I'm that guy. I mean,
your wife is the opposite.
She's the opposite.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Thank God. Because, I mean,
because y'all just be handing out money and extending grace everywhere.
I would. She does not.
Somebody has to draw the line.
Yeah, she does not. So this is a good example. Like, this is lady. It was an apartment building. It's a smaller apartment building. And this lady lived on the bottom floor. And she's older than me. And she's a veteran. So one time, so anyway, in an apartment building, you only pay the electricity as an owner for the foyer area. Everyone else pays the electricity for their their homes or where they're living. So one month I got like this electricity bill that was like really really high for the building. I was like, wow, that's like really weird because it's the hallways, right?
Right.
It's the hallways upstairs and downstairs in the basement, and then there's the washer and dryers, right? So it's like, why is electricity so high?
Right.
So one day I just randomly decided to go by there. Now you can't, again, as a landlord, you can't knock on people's doors without letting them know.
Right.
But you can enter your building and walk your hallways, right? If it's an apartment building. So this lady had extension cords. Yep. Going from her unit
That'll do it.
all the way to the basement. And she was, lighting up her whole house from the basement.
Time.
Christmas time. And it
24/7.
Yeah.
365.
So I'm like, whoa. So, I addressed that. Another occasion, same lady, rent was due, and it just so happened that the night before, her uncle had been gunned down in Philadelphia, or Philly, however you want to say it.
Oh my God.
Now, whether or not that's true or not, to this day, I really don't know.
Right.
I didn't, I'm out, again, sucker. I'm also not one of those guys who's like, can I see the obituary? But at the same time, could people, make an obituary? Yes. So it's like, okay, what do I do? So that happened for that same person. Like people ended up being murdered, like basically consecutively before rent was due 4 times. And it worked for her every one of those times.
Until it didn't.
Until it didn't. Until I was like, yo, I'm going to have to like evict you. Like, and here I am again. I am so sorry that this did not work out. Like, the fact that we're 4 months behind is crazy. And I just wish that it could work out. But I really wanted to work out. And it's like, would you do someone else like that? No, I wouldn't. So then it's like, well, why would you let someone else do you like that? I'm like, well,
It's a situation.
It's
everything that comes with it. Because she's sad and she's.
Yeah, she done lost her aunt, her uncle, her cousin, and her nephew. What do you do about that? And they're all out of town, supposedly. So make-believe people who are dying left and right like flies. It's crazy. So yeah, ultimately, it's a lack of self-value, and then me basically valuing others more than value myself. And that's something I struggle with just in general. So
You're not alone. I'm a big reflector.
Oh, that's great. That is fantastic.
I'm an overthinker.
Well, if you don't mind, do you mind sharing just one, just one instance? I just shared a few, but just one.
Just one.
No pressure. I'm already bleeding on the table, so a napkin would be good.
We appreciate you, but before I get to my
is this a commercial? Wow, cliffhanger.
We'll be right back. No, I'm just kidding.
Where's one of these buttons at?
No, but seriously, I was gonna say, but that speaks a lot about your character, even though you think that
that's a horrible character.
It's not, because that means you have a big heart for the people. You have a big heart for the people, and you want people to treat you the way, however you say it. You treat people the way you want to be treated. Sorry, I had to stumble.
True.
So therefore, I don't think that's a flaw. I think that is that's a good characteristic to have. Only thing is, it's a good thing that you have a wonderful wife like you do.
She's cutthroat.
Yeah, that is able to draw the line and say, okay, enough is enough. It's time for you to turn the knob, because there's a switch.
Right.
And see, the thing is with me, I'm the opposite.
Oh, are you guns out?
Yeah.
That's you?
I'm Marika.
You will cut them?
Yes. I'm her.
Nice.
Mom tells me all the time, she's like, you're just mean. And I don't think that I'm mean.
Of course not. The people, it's like a serial killer. It's like, you're a monster. Like, no. Actually, I'm helping society. It's like,
you're Michael Myers. Absolutely not. I'm not him.
It's Halloween. What do you expect me to do? They had all year
long to get it right, and now I got to get you together. So
I got one day to go ham.
We're gonna make this last forever. So that's me. Like, a lot of people think that I'm mean, but I mean well behind my meanness.
Wow.
Because I'm that person that I don't want you to settle. I don't want you to settle, so therefore I'm gonna push you. I'm not gonna say attack you, but
Wait a second. Okay, I'm listening. It's interesting. Okay.
I'm going to be kind of stern. After, let me just say it this way: I extend grace at one point, but then after a while, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over. I'm gonna look at you like, what are we doing? Because now you're wasting my time and yours.
You mentioned 1 point.
Okay.
Just that one.
Right.
That's cool.
But it's a big one because that's my character. And sometimes, but the thing is that I'm the opposite about myself versus what I am with other people. So I'm hard on other people for the good, but then I'm hard on me as if I could do better, but I don't know if I'm doing better. Does that make any type of sense? I'm an overthinker when it comes to me.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
So I kind of need like a me to get me together.
Wow. Okay.
To keep pushing me in that direction.
So sometimes cuts feel good.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay.
It does. It does.
Okay.
So in that sense about the whole thing of what I require, I do require people to push me because I push them. I require leadership. I am a leader.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that. We wouldn't even be here if you weren't a leader.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I wouldn't be talking to you right now if you weren't a leader.
I downplay myself a lot. Too.
I see that. What's up with that?
I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it. I can't really put it in place but I do reflect a lot, and I'm to the point where, okay, so, wow, so
Yes, please. I'm all ears.
to the point where I have a certain situation going on currently, and this person knows me well, and we were deciding if we were going to get back on a certain page. I'm being very vague about this.
I don't think so. I'm guessing the page is a diary. So
The
book is a diary.
It is a diary.
It's somewhere in one of those pages that you have bookmarked, apparently.
I did. I placed it and I left, and I haven't came back until now. So, and I'm trying to be very discreet. So, we've been talking about this, and I came to this person. I said, so, okay, what are we going to do about whatever chapter this is? And he's like, well,
chapters. Wow.
I know you to the point where you'll say yes now, and then you'll go pray about it, and then you'll come back and be like, oh, never mind.
Wait, is that God saying no, or is that you saying no?
It's me. Because I've already analyzed the situation.
What?
It's a little bit of both. And I can't really get into the details of it without people finding out who I'm talking about. So it's a little bit of both because I've already heard no before. Like a few years ago, about 5 years
Don't get
ago.
too specific now.
I know, right? So about 5 years, I already heard no. But I don't like to take risks. I know that's on
that's
certain things.
Interesting.
I don't like to use the word scared, but I'd be scared. I'd be like,
interesting.
what if this works? Or what if it don't work? So I've already analyzed how it could possibly look if it did work, and how it could possibly look if it don't work, and then how I would feel if it did work, and how I would feel if it didn't work. So now I'm just like in this limbo of, do I take a risk or do I not take a risk? And sometimes I just don't do anything. I just sit there.
That is interesting. So you're risk adverse.
Very much.
And I'm just risky just risky. I'll risk it. I will risk it.
I have these walls up so high.
Is that from hurt or is that something else?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hurt, disappointment, discouragement. It's a lot. And it takes a lot for me to let them down, Because once they're down, it seems like, oh my God, what are we doing here? Is this therapy?
Yes, and don't worry about me. I'm just merely bandaging my wounds right now, so you're fine.
I feel like that once they're down, that's when people see who I am. Like they already see who I am, but now they're like, oh, she's a little clingy,
Okay.
or she's a little bit too much. You know what I mean? So that's when people just they leave.
Oh, it seems like if I were to translate this,
Please do.
are you saying that someone could perceive your love as being suffocating?
Absolutely.
Gotcha. And it just means that's the wrong person that perceived the love, then that received the love. That's all that means.
Absolutely.
And so, no, I get it, and that's very interesting. Seems like you and I have different, we have very unique and different perspectives on things. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm very
I didn't know you were a risk taker.
absolutely. Risk it. Absolutely.
I try to play it safe as much as possible.
Nope.
And that to me, that's not a good trait to have. Because it's like I'm not
risky.
to play it safe all the time. I feel like you should be able to balance and choose what you're going to play it safe with. But with me, it's like, nah, I'll just stay in the house and I'll just stay here.
It's that's interesting. So, yeah, you ever heard of like a shooter's mentality?
What's that?
So like in sports or specifically basketball, they'll say, oh, wow, that kid has a shooter's mentality. And it just means that if this kid makes one shot, his entire being while he's on the court is, man, I made that one shot. And so he could miss the next 15 shots. But if you ask him, how's it going? He's like, it's going great. Like, it's going great. Like, yeah. Like, bro, you missed 15 shots straight. He's like, yeah, but did you see that one I made?
Right, yeah.
And so I have that kind of mentality. It's like, yeah, they told me no. They're like, bro, the next fact was, did you see the yes I got?
Right.
And so I think it serves well in certain things, like sales, but it doesn't serve well in like parenting. That kind of mentality does not serve me well.
No.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. It doesn't serve me well. And it's so weird because I didn't have so much reflection time until like therapy. Mm-hmm. Shouts out to my therapist. I haven't been in a while. I got to go back apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's time.
No, I disagree. Maybe.
No, it's cool. Is it time?
I don't know.
Should I go back?
Maybe. Do you feel like you need to go back?
I'm gonna give it one more month.
Okay.
I'm gonna risk it.
There you go, people. That was a good example because I'm not risking it. I'm just like, nah, all this time, why just stay here? I'm just going to stay right here. But you know what? That's how it kind of was when I was waiting for my promotion. I went to so many interviews and I got so many no's that after a while I was just like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm not looking for it anymore. I'm just going to sit right here. I'm okay with this. I'm going to just stay analyst.
It's very interesting. Because I'm sure Marika told you how her and I met, right? Mm-hmm. So like if I would have said like no after like literally the first 10 times, right? I mean, so I don't know. It seems like it's a trend in my life. I was talking to someone that worked for me part time. Cool guy, and I ran into him at the Urban League, and we were talking. And he called. Well, no, he texted me randomly and was like, it was a weird text. I'm not gonna say what it was. So I called him. I was like, what? And he was like, oh, that was a mistake. I meant to text that to a police officer for an investigation. I was like, oh, okay. Tell me more. So he was like, yeah, credit card fraud and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay. So who did it? So anyway, we start talking, and he was like, "Oh, you're in fraternity?" I was like, "Yeah." So he was like, "Oh, that's cool." He was like, "Well, do you mind sponsoring me, like next year, for that same fraternity?" I was like, "Yeah, I got you, no problem." And he said, "Yeah, you should meet the president of Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Recorder." And I was like, "Oh, Robert?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Robert's one of your frat brothers." I was like, "Really?" It's like I didn't know that. I was like, "Oh man, I'm definitely going to give him a hard time next time that we're talking, right?" Because he and I both spoke in an event in which at the end of the event, he said that he was going to hit me up. Mm-hmm. Never hit me up.
Never did.
So what did I do? I've been hitting this man up, right? I've been texting him, sending him an email, called him. And then I went to another event. He happened to be there. And maybe I'm thinking like guilty conscience to where he was avoiding me. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, I said, wow, if this is not my life, if this is not my life, if people are not just like avoiding me. I said, but you know what? Just like my wife, in an appropriate manner, Robert is going to say to himself, wow, you know what? I am so happy that I had this conversation with Leland. It was like one of the best conversations I ever had. I don't know why I was avoiding him for all this time.
I'm in agreement.
Right?
I'm definitely in agreement with that.
That's how I have to look at things, because if not, I'd be like, oh my God, nobody likes me. Nobody likes me. I call this guy. I remember when I used to sell stuff downtown in DC.
Oh wow!
And people really say to me, "Fuck up my face, guy." Please, sir, if you don't mind helping the foundation, save the whales. You don't fuck with no whales.
Excuse me.
That was life right there.
I couldn't, no.
Commission based too, believe it or not.
The closest I got to sales was clothing store. That was about it.
Really? Mm-hmm. What kind of clothing store was this?
It was called, at one point, it was called Devereaux's.
Never heard of that.
But now it's called City Gear.
Okay. I just forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was there. I don't remember how long I was there. But I left in 2013 to go to Sallie Mae.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so
so why don't we require the same stuff from people?
For me, it's rejection.
I think it's the same here.
Really?
Absolutely. But from an empathetic perspective, mm-hmm. like, wow, I know what it's like to be rejected so poorly or so often, as I just mentioned. So I'm like, wow, I don't want someone else to have to go through that same type of.
And that's in every area of your life.
I think that sense of hurt is something that leads primary decisions. Yeah. So like if I meet someone and they happen to mention something and it's a resource that I came across the day before, I'm not only going to give them the name, the phone number, and the website. I'm going to try to give them the direct contact to the person for that resource.
See, you got a big heart. Because I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to... I'm going to give you what I have, and I'm not going to go the extra mile. I'm not. I'm so sorry. Y'all, this is too real. Goodness. But it's the truth. That is how I'm not. Gosh, I'm just not.
Oh my God. I'm like, yeah, matter of fact, and if you call me at 10 o'clock tomorrow, I'll even do a 3-way introduction call between you and Sallie Mae.
We gotta love them. Gotta love Leland, because Saria's not doing that. Absolutely not.
Why not, though? If you don't
I'm
mind me
gonna give you
asking.
the basic. I'm gonna give you what I have and
tell you to run with it.
Yes.
Habakkuk, whatever that is. 222, right?
Yeah. Write the vision, make it plain.
You run with it.
God got you this far. Here you go. And maybe, I don't know. And maybe because my expectations for people, I set them so high. So I set them high. And that is my issue.
I love
another issue. I set my expectations high for people because I'm the type of person that when I see potential in people, I'm like, oh yeah, you can do this.
Wow.
And they're just like,
Psych.
Why do you believe in me? Who are you?
Oh my gosh.
And they just kind of fade away. And I'm like, what happened? I met this girl at the gym. I was in the gym doing my own thing. She came up to me and she was like, I don't mean to interrupt you. I saw you working out and I just want to know if I can work out with you. And I'm like, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, we can set up a time. I'll let you know my schedule and when I come and all that type of stuff. And I hit her up a couple times. She came. We worked out together once. Great workout. Great. Pushed her and we did some ab work. We did some full body stuff. We got on a treadmill, went home, hit her back up a couple times. No response. Then I hit her back up like a week later. No response. After that third time, I'm not.
You're not coming back to him.
No. So then she hits me up a month later and was like, I've been feeling so unmotivated. I'm like, huh. If you was here with me, the motivation would still be there. So I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I'm going. These are the days I'm going, and this is the time I'm going. Let me know if you're going to be able to make it or not.
That's interesting.
Crickets.
That's deep.
It is. So I set my expectations high because if you come to me and be like, this is what I want to do, and I tell you up front, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to be on you. You probably gonna be like, dang, she texted me again. I'm going to be on you. And then you don't show up. You have to show up for yourself. I'm showing up with you, but you got to show up for you. And if you can't do that, I'm not going to come knock on your door until you get in the car. I'm not doing that.
That's deep.
So I set them high because I see potential and I know that they can do it. And I know that the goal can be achieved. But if you don't show up for yourself, how can I help you?
That's deep. Wow.
I can only tell you, I can only motivate you so much.
Wow. I want to cry just hearing that. That is crazy.
But it's the truth. It is. And that's why I said I set them high because I only set it high because I see potential in people. Because I know that they can do it. And that's where I feel like I mess up myself because I get disappointed because they don't do it. Wow. I've never been to therapy, but this is a good therapy.
This was good.
It's very deep.
I have no expectations of anybody.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Friends,
wife, it doesn't matter. I have no expectations.
You don't expect any?
I do not expect them to know. I just expect that I will do my best. And I hope that by me doing my best and you seeing that I'm making my best, putting my best forth, my best effort there, I'm hoping that you will do the same. But if you don't, that's okay. Because I understand that if someone doesn't do their best, it has no reflection on me. That's a reflection on them. And if or when they are ready to really put forth that effort, cool.
Now you make me feel bad.
No, I don't know. So
now you make me feel bad because, and maybe it's because.
What's up? Talk to me.
Maybe it's because
I have already died at the table, so you might as well open up.
It goes back to childhood because I feel like my mom didn't try hard enough. And I'm like, if somebody was just to push her a little bit further, believed in her a little bit more, raised the expectation a little bit higher and stuck with her, my childhood wasn't bad, but it could have been better by certain decisions that was made. I was about to say by management, by the head,
Correct, yes.
Management. And it's like when you see that potential in your parents, you be like, well, what's up? Like,
yeah.
You're allowing other people to pull you back from your potential. And now I'm just like, well, now we're suffering.
Yeah.
From certain things. That Dad too. That's not excluded from this. Same thing.
Yeah.
You have potential to do a certain thing um, with your kids, and it's like you neglect to do it. Maybe you neglect to do it because you weren't taught how to do that.
Right. And environment plays a big role in that.
Absolutely. It trickles down. So to be quite honest, that you're empathetic, I'm less empathetic. The less empathetic comes from my dad's side because my
Okay.
grandma was like that with him, and he was like that for a long time.
Less empathetic.
Yes, it was very hard to get a. Oh, you look nice. You look beautiful. It was very hard to get that from him. Now, no problem. I don't know what happened between.
Yeah, something dramatic changed, right?
Definitely something dramatic changed, but it was hard. And if he said I love you, it was like pulling teeth. And I was just like, what is this thing?
Whenever I think of, especially like, not hood rich, but what's the, what do they call it when an athlete goes from like they go from, low income to high income? What's that trail called? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, so whenever I think of like a LeBron James type of thing, like sleeping on a couch majority of his adolescence and that kind of stuff. But then there was a coach that was like, man, you got great potential. And, the coach, for example, invests money, time, effort into a child in hopes that child would get out of that situation. And it just so happens that child ends up going to the NBA, right?
Right, yeah.
And I don't know if LeBron pays for their, their upbringing or whatever for that coach or those coaches.
Right. They spent that time. Yeah.
But I would hope or think that some of those coaches did that without the expectation of anything.
Of expecting him to.
Yeah, like just I would hope they did it just because it was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing, yeah. Yeah.
With like no expectation of.
They see the potential. They want you to be great. I genuinely want you to make it because I know you can.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's how I am.
What?
It is.
Okay, I'm listening. No, this is good.
No, I do have the heart because I see the potential.
Okay.
I do spend the time, but like I said, after spending so much time and you don't show up for you, what else can I do? I kind of reach a dead end, a wall, because you gotta make the decision to show up.
You can't wake
do
them
it
up
for yourself. No, I can't.
And you know what? That's probably why the military is so successful.
That's good.
They put them in an environment that even if you are a screw up as a kid, they are going to wake your ass up. Ooh. And you're in an environment that if you choose not to wake up enough consecutive times, they themselves may not have to punish you, but your squadron does.
Yeah.
Like your environment literally does the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's deep.
But we don't have
for your service.
Yeah, legit. But we don't have that luxury, especially in certain. We don't have a luxury. Period. I mean, unless your child is in boarding school, which I wouldn't want my kids to be in boarding school, you don't have that luxury.
Right.
As a parent, we can do our best to create that same type of environment. Try our best.
Right, because we are. I look at it as, when I'm parenting my kids, I look at what my parents did and the things that I didn't like and try not to do the same. Try, and the key word is try, because I catch myself all the time. Nagging was one of the big things in my household. And my oldest son said to me one day, he's like, why are you nagging? I said, I don't know. Let me go sit down somewhere, because I feel like there's a different approach that can be given versus the constant nag. Because that's one of the things that irritated me was the nag.
The nag.
The nag.
But we do the thing that irritates us.
Because it was so, I feel like it's because it's embedded in us. Like that's the environment we grew up in. So that's kind of what we know. So now you have to try to unlearn what you know and put it in with something more positive.
But why do we create similar environments that we claim we hate?
Maybe because we weren't taught how to do it differently.
We know how to create.
Right. It's definitely got to be a mind change, a different perspective. Just like I said with the nagging. So now instead of nagging, I do more of just communicating and just talking to them instead of nagging about it. Taking the time to be like, okay, this is why we do it this way, or this is why, and then get their input of how they think or how they view it or how they see it. Because my way isn't always the right way. We can be real. My way isn't always the right way, even though I think it is. So I feel like having their perspective of why they're doing it that way or why they are approaching whatever it is they're doing that way, it would get me to understand their logic of thinking so that I can correct it in a positive and communicative manner versus just nagging about it. It's worked so far. Instead of, because there was no conversation in the house. It was more of, this is what you got to do because I said so. And that's just it. And I think that's a lot of our generation and the previous generation. It's just like, because I said so, so do it.
Previous generation is trash. I tell my mom that all the time.
Very much so.
Like, your generation sucks.
It very much. To the point where my son, my LJ, he'd be like, well, why? And I'm like,
That's a good question.
right. Well, why? Let's talk about this, son. And so, for example, he washes the dishes. How he washes dishes irritate me. And he washes them to the point where, it's a two-sided sink. So normally, I would say normal people will wash them on the left side, rinse on the right, and then put the stuff on the little pad or whatever, or put them in a dishwasher or whatever. But he washes them. He keeps the dirty dishes on the left side, washes in the right, rinses in the right, and then puts it on the pad. And I was like, well, why does he do that? And I was talking to my mom. She said, well, maybe because he's left-handed.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm over here nail biting like, is that why? Okay. Because I wash the way that you just mentioned, and I'm not left-handed.
What, the second way?
The way where dirty dishes are on the left.
Uh-huh.
He washes it and he rinses on the right, and he puts it. Yeah.
It's
because to me that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. If you wash on the left,
yes,
and then you put the dish over there, so that you have a free sink to rinse, and then put it on the pad.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
I'm so sorry, Marie.
Tomato.
It's not the same.
Whatever,
It's so, I'll just be like, so when he washes dishes, I just go upstairs just so I won't nag, because I just be like, this doesn't look right at all.
But it's such a positive that he's washing dishes.
It is. So I have to take, you want him to wash the dishes, or you want him to be like, well, I'm not doing it your way, so I'm not going to wash them.
And it makes sense the way he's doing it to me. It gives me a sense of
there's a method to all this.
It's a method because it's like an assembly line.
Right. There's no assembly line with the way he does it.
Oh,
it's
well, yes,
backwards.
it is. What?
Dirty, and you just...
Yeah, dirty, clean, wash, dry.
I usually put my dirty on the counter and put them in, wash.
Oh, like children taking a bath. I see. Gotcha. Okay. Hop on in. Come on out. Okay. Well, because he hasn't had children yet, that doesn't make sense to him. And that makes sense to me. Okay. I'm proud of him. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm proud too. I mean, he does.
Young man, you wash those dishes well. Okay.
He does a good job. I just be like, I don't know what it is, but it just be like, it be getting to me. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go upstairs. It's your day? Okay. Thank you. I'll see you in the morning.
Just all you got to do is smell the silverware before you use it. Make sure it's the right one.
Oh my God. Yeah. So.
The LJ.
Because they be clean.
See?
They do be clean. But
Yeah.
it's just how, like I said, I can't have my cake and eat it too. I just cannot. All the time. Sometimes you got to let
It
people
depends
have the cake.
how big the cake is, okay?
Well, the cake ain't that big right now, especially. You gotta compromise,
I'm one of those weird people that likes to meditate and stuff. And I was thinking the other day, I said meditation. I was like, wow, everything that we go through because we want to create a problem to go through. You disagree with that? You're like,
Wow.
heck no. I thought about
Why
that.
would you
I
say
was
that?
like, well, because if we're all infinite beings, and we all know that as infinite beings, you can do whatever you want to do. So why even have this experience that we're having? There was something about wanting to have the experience that we're like, yes, yeah, send me down there, yeah, for sure, yeah, I definitely, yes, I want that experience. Because if we're infinite beings, I could have literally been an ant. Like, why would I choose to be a human being instead of an ant? Like, what was that about? That's just me. And no, I'm not high. This is sober me, actually.
He said an ant.
Yeah.
Out of all the creatures.
Of all the creatures. Exactly, though. But yeah, absolutely. Of all the creatures, of all the beings, why choose a human being? And then on top of that, why even choose to procreate? That is really weird.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's like, why would you do that? Why bring something else into an environment that is not truly perfect, in which would never ever be perfect, and yet you want? That's an odd one. It's like, why, if you know that you're on a plane and the plane is losing altitude, why would you sell more tickets to fill more seats on the plane, knowing that it's losing altitude?
My God.
Just for the thrill of it, right? Like, you just like, I just want to experience what it's going to be when this mug is full. I want to experience all of them yelling at the same time. All jokes aside, I'm being serious. Like,
Yeah.
why would a human, so-called intelligent being, why would an intelligent being do that? If not just for the experience. And that's kind of selfish. It's like, yo, I want to experience what's like to have kids. But from the perspective of the kid, they're like, yo, why the hell do you have me here? This is a mess. Yo, this sucks.
Never once did I ever say that line.
Never? You never said that you just want to experience children?
Absolutely not.
Not even as a child?
No.
You never said that you never said that.
No.
At some point you had to because you had children.
No.
Yes.
I am so sorry. That is not what happened.
Okay. Well,
Dear,
I'm gonna say for myself.
if you are an elder, close your ears, okay? No, that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
It happened because it happened because that's what
happened with
I
anatomy.
did to make it happen. No. I'm the oldest child.
And you never said, I want to have children of my own.
No.
Not even subconsciously. You had to actually put it into action. Yes.
No.
Absolutely.
Really?
Because a person,
It is not.
listen,
People
could have been like, oh, is this saying that I'm a month into, the creation of a child? Oh, what them eggs with those special ingredients? I'm gonna make my breakfast midday.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Well, first off, I was a teen mom.
It
So,
still applies.
yeah, but I didn't really notice until I already noticed at that point.
Okay.
So, and that's the whole backstory behind it. But the second child, like I said, I made a lot of bad decisions. Let's just call it spade a spade. It was a bad.
Okay.
It was the kids were not a bad decision, but the act of leading up to was. So
I often think of like, children. I could have waited 10 years.
I could have waited 30. You know what? I don't think it's too late. I think the fire station takes kids, right? I can do that.
Yeah, they do. My kids look a lot like me though, so it's kind of like ooh,
Only one that looks like me is Crystal. Maybe LJ. John and Carmen don't. They can.
unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable.
You sure it's me?
Right. They ain't my kids.
I ain't did it. That ain't me.
They don't look like me at all. Those two. I got 2 out of 2. I think I should be.
You be okay?
Yeah.
And so all jokes aside, right? As I'm getting too serious, I do think whatever problems that we have, we want to have the problem to experience. We want the experience.
I do not 100% agree with you.
Because we want the experience.
We want the experience?
We want the experience. There's something in us that's like, yeah.
Wow.
There's something in us that's like, you know what? Yeah,
it's like an alternate ego.
Yeah, I think I would want to overcome that situation. Yeah. So I'm gonna, subconsciously, I'm gonna align different things so that I have to face that particular challenge. But yeah, I think I want to conquer that dragon. I do. I honestly do believe that.
I see it. It's you got the serious face going, and I'm just like,
I could.
Lord have mercy.
If I had an hour to build my case, I could show so many.
Well, you know what? I can't say I don't 100% agree with you. I'm kind of, as I'm sitting here and marinating in it, I'm at like an 80%. I think 20% you kind of sold me on.
Oh, wow.
Because I do have an alternate ego that be like, I know this is the path right here, but I like this one better because that's what I like.
If we are infinite beings,
knowing that this path is not,
knowing that path, the only reason you would choose that path and that you know that it's not the right path is for the experience. If you are an infinite being,
that means I am a risk taker.
The fact that you're alive is that you're a risk taker.
Ugh.
Like, not trying to be funny, like the whole, you can get hit by a bus, that kind of thing. No. But the fact that you're alive is the fact that you're a risk taker.
Mm.
Like from inception to conception or whatever, period.
Dot.
The fact that, so I oftentimes think about this. This is in Second Kings. Mm-hmm. I can't give you guys the exact, book and the verse, but anyway. So basically, long story short, it was King Hezekiah, and he was with another king of Judah and king of Israel, and so they were trying to decide whether or not to go to war with another country. Mm-hmm. And so it then showed the heaven realm where there were spirits around God's throne, and God was like, I need to send a lying spirit to this particular king so that he can do what I want him to do, right? You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
So peep game though. Then all these spirits are around it. A few spirits said, send me. So that would always already put you in the idea of, there were some spirits that were like, hey, yo, bro, send me.
Wow.
But then the other spirits were like, nah, I don't want that experience. So then he sent the ones that said, send me. So he said the ones that said, send me. Mm-hmm. The man spoke because spirit is speaking. So that would mean that as an infinite being, every time that you and I are speaking, we are creating.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And if we know that we're infinite beings and that we can create that's what I said, we know how to create.
Right, exactly.
If we know that we can create and we know that we're infinite beings.
Good or bad, we create.
Then the only reason I would want to go through something detrimental is just for the experience. I'm like, man, I'm in this earthly realm right now. I know as an infinite being, I'm gonna live forever. Let's go act crazy. Like that is the only reason. That's the only reason somebody would be like, yeah, I smacked him in the face. Well, why'd you smack him in the face, Johnny? I just wanted to. And you'd be like, yeah, Johnny wanted to smack Bob in the face. Just like that. Because
that is so good though.
It's the truth.
It's good because it is the truth. And then you just backed it up with scripture.
No,
it makes sense. No, for real. It makes sense.
It does.
It does make sense.
You're an infinite being. You're an infinite being to where, even when you go to sleep, and it's a scientific fact. Mm-hmm. And this is interesting. No matter whatever you believe in, scientifically, when a person goes to sleep, their brain waves reach a heighten to where it's only with that of creation. Period. You drop from beta, alpha, all the way, period, from theta, period. You reach brain waves in which it can only be monitored with creation. That has to mean that you're in sync with creation when you're asleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then your spirit never sleeps. So your spirit would have to be like, yo, yesterday was crazy, bro.
Right.
I wonder what we gonna do tomorrow. Did you see the way she looked at old buddy? Yes, I saw that. The spirit would have to be like, yo, what experience in this earthly realm is going to be encountered tomorrow?
My God.
And so then, but then the person wakes up, they're like, oh, life is chaos. But at some subconscious level, the spirit's like, yo, I think I can even overcome this chaos. I think I'm eager to actually jump through these hurdles and be a champion over all of this chaos. That right there is, for me, it's like bonkers. So yesterday, I like to have movie nights. I love my mom, and that was like when the one shouts out to mom. My mom was a great person. She's a great person. She's alive. My mom's a great person. One of the most memorable things for me was movie nights. Mm-hmm. But one thing I hated during movie night was my mom would chomp on popcorn, and she would make this horrible, like a horse eating.
Don't disrespect
something, right? A bay of hell or a bay of whatever, and of hay. And it was interesting because yesterday we had movie night last night. My son in my ear too, and I thought to myself, why did I want to recreate that? Because as a child, that irritated me. I would lay on my mom and watch movies with her at night for like once a week. And I would enjoy laying on my mom and watch the movie, but I hated hearing the popcorn, right? Here I am with a child. It's my nighttime and my son's laying on me. And what do I hear in my ear? Popcorn. It's like, so what is it? What is it like? Apparently I love the intimacy of watching the movie together, but why did I even want to have the experience of the popcorn?
Maybe you should do sandwiches instead.
Right. Like why did I even say, yeah, did you
get the popcorn?
Yeah. Like why even put it in the microwave for them? Right. So it's like, what is it about that to where you wanted to self-sabotage yourself? That's basically what it ultimately boils down to. It's like, why would you want to have that experience of self-sabotage? Like, why would I want to buy, talking about myself, why would I want to buy, for example, as you know, my wife had this little popcorn thing.
Shout out to Marika. The popcorn is fire. I just want to say.
That's it.
I just had to throw that in there because that salty whatever you gave me yesterday nailed it on the couch, and I was probably with your mouth.
And I thought to myself, now Leland, you don't even like popcorn. What you could have did is after you got the boxes of popcorn, you could have just gave it away. You know you don't like popcorn, but why would you even want to have the popcorn in the house, knowing that if it's popcorn in the house, what people do? They eat it. And if you have movie night, what they gonna do? They gonna eat it. So it's like, why would you even self-sabotage yourself to that point? That's how I be looking at stuff. If I'm in the tub,
And I
I'm
thought I
sitting
was
down,
deep. You were just
I'd be
deep
like,
over
why would I
here.
do that to myself? Like, what is wrong
All
with you?
about the popcorn.
All about the pop. But it's deeper than that because it's like, why would I want to self-sabotage myself ultimately? Right? I wanted to have that experience of some loud ass popcorn being chomped in my ear.
Maybe it was like you said. It was just the memory.
Sentimental.
It was the memory of what you did in your childhood.
I'm gonna have to call my mom tonight. Apparently, I miss her. It has to be it.
Maybe.
She's been on my mind. You know.
And the popcorn just made.
And the popcorn
sealed the
was
deal.
the seal. Yeah. It's like, why'd you want to have? But all I'm joking, but I'm being
Yeah,
serious.
absolutely.
Like why do we self-sabotage ourselves?
Ooh, my gosh. For me, it's lack of confidence.
For the self-sabotage?
Yeah.
Lack of confidence?
You know,
Okay.
let me say this. I am confident. But in certain areas, like I said, I'm an overthinker. So there has to be some type of lack of confidence in there if I'm overthinking something. I have to be not too confident in the thing that I'm overthinking about. There's some type of doubt inside of me with whatever it is. For instance, the speaking aspect of it. I would make videos, and I kid you not, I have so many in my drafts, and I would not post it because of lack of confidence, or the thought of, well, this sounds kind of cringy, or did I actually hear that I was supposed to say that? I'm telling you, the overthinking it can consume my mind if I allow it to. But I have stuff in my I will record the same topic maybe I'll do it 3 times.
What?
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So I do it 3 times. And I'll be like, and I try to listen because
Shout out to the Trinity.
right. I try to make sure that whatever it is that I'm supposed to say for that day is being said, and it's not me saying it, it's whatever I was told to say. So
I got you. So you don't script it.
no.
Okay.
I have a certain, I have my little
Talking
thing that I
points.
do at the beginning of each video. Hey y'all, hey. And then I'll say it, and then I do like a little chuckle laugh, and then because that's just whatever, I don't know what they call it, but that's what I do. And then I go into whatever I'm gonna say for the day. But sometimes I have to make sure that I'm saying it right or how it was given to me to make sure that I'm getting it out properly. But I feel like if I know that is what Spirit told me to say, then I should be confident enough to just say it. And whoever it's for, it'll be for, and they'll just receive it. And whoever it's not for, they'll just keep scrolling. And that is something with me that I'm actually working on now, because whatever the first video is just what it is.
Can we apply that same scripture in 2 Kings to it?
Absolutely.
So let's say this, like the Spirit sent a spirit to you
Yeah,
for a particular message to be birthed through you. And it was like, dang, I just died. You ever watch like infomercials and be like, yo, you never watch infomercials.
Probably, but
You ever see something
more than likely.
in the store, I hope, and you're like, I thought of that. Like I have, yes, right. Mm-hmm. And the way I tell my wife is like, when that happens, all that's saying is that same spirit was sent to you, and that spirit wanted you to create it, aka birth it into the world. And at some point, when it wasn't able to actually get through you, it had to go to someone else who was willing to give it birth.
To do it, my God.
It had to, because if not, if it never returns void,
self-sabotage.
Then if it's not going to come to you, it's going to come to someone else, and that person now becomes a conduit or a channel to have it happen over and over and over again. And then before you know, you're like, dang, that guy blew up. Like, nah, that guy was just willing
to step out there and
to step out there and allow that same Spirit 1 went through, Spirit 2 went through, Spirit 3, and before you know it, this guy's on Spirit 22, 5, 8, 9.
And you still over here on 2. Yeah.
That's how I look at it when it comes to when it comes to ideas. I'm trying to get my kids to understand, like, if they have an idea, to run with it.
Man,
And do it quickly.
You know what?
Don't hesitate.
And that's kind of like confirmation for me, because I've been actually thinking about getting my certification for personal training, and I'm just like, there's that self-sabotage and that overthinking. I'm like,
do it.
I really don't have the time. I don't even know if I'll get clients, what I'm gonna do about my job.
Oh,
I mean, it's just like, and then, so I was at the gym Saturday. You don't follow me on social media, but I'll post my.
I should. I need to follow. I'll make sure I follow you today.
Okay.
Forgive me.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. I post my workout videos, and I actually didn't want to. It just kind of like started one day. What's it? I don't know how long it's been, but I've been posting my workout videos. So there's this guy that goes to the gym. His name is Stu. He works there now. He's a trainer. But when I used to see him, he wasn't a trainer before. He was just a regular person that went to the gym. Anyway, long story short, for the past like 2-3 weeks, I be doing my workouts, and he'll come up to me and be like, I want you to try something. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. So I've actually been wanting to get a personal trainer, but of course, you know, I'm not going to pay nobody. I can just go to TikTok or something. Anyway, but the thing that I have been desiring, he had been helping me with. I said Stu because we were talking after he was helping me on Saturday, and he was like, why don't you get your personal training certification? And the crazy thing was, I was looking up that information on Wednesday on the website, and I got all these questions and stuff, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'll be good at it. He was like, but you do. I see you in here. The main thing is consistency. You're learning. I know you didn't lose weight because you look different. And all that. He said, and you do like your motivational speaking stuff. You can tie that together. That was not the first time I didn't heard that. That was like the third time I didn't heard that. And I was just like, well, why does this keep coming back up? Maybe because I'm thinking my path would be a little different. I'm just doing this for me, but I'm doing this for me. But now I'm thinking about actually doing it for me and other people. And
so, okay.
That's why I said the self-sabotaging and overthinking really be getting me, because I would sit on a thing.
So are you risk adverse or are you fearful?
That is a good question.
Because at some point, the reason why I'm cool with taking risk is I know that at the end of the day, guess who got me?
God got you. He's
like legit. So it's like, oh, that didn't work out. Soft place to land. So, and that's honestly how I approach stuff. So the question is it really like risk adverse?
That's a good question. Because fear will keep you
comfort, or supposedly we think it's comfort,
stuck.
But we know
fear will keep you at a standstill and make you not make a decision, which still is a decision. So honestly, I can't answer that. I don't know if it's fear, lack of confidence, or all of the above.
What do you think about this word confidence that you keep using? What does that mean for you?
It means a lot, honestly. Because at one point I didn't have confidence. I know I said earlier I've always had confidence, but I'm kind of doing a double standard here, contradicting a little bit, because when I was a teenager, confidence was not something that I had. I didn't gain confidence until maybe about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago.
So what is confidence though mean to you then?
Boldness. To me, it's boldness. It's like no matter what anybody else thinks.
Can we get a little deeper than that?
I don't know.
Come on, you do.
Really
You know what it means for you.
I don't.
Really? You know.
I would. I don't know.
And there's no right or wrong answer.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
No.
it's just what does it mean to you, though?
But like I said, it's just more of a, not really of I don't care of what anybody else thinks stands, but that's what it is. Like I don't.
Let's say that. Say it's a.
It's like I don't care swag type of.
And so I agree with you. I think confidence for me is. Confidence is, if I was making it into one word, is being. And another word I use is like identity. Like it's like I am wearing a blue shirt.
Period.
I'm wearing a blue shirt.
I even gotta look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't have to question who I am, what I am, with my ability. It is that. Like I'm wearing a blue shirt. Because confidence is like, who do you confide in, basically? And so if I can't confide in myself, I have no confidence. Because confidence ultimately is the identity. Exactly. And so I can't confide in something that has no identity. I used to, not anymore, but I used to really try my best to, I guess, be more like water, to where you try to adapt to what someone else needs instead of just being.
You're not alone with that. I'm an
am.
adapter.
And it's like, that's not serving you, Leland, and it's not serving the other person ultimately either. Why not just have that confidence and confide in who you are, and but then let them know, hey, I wear blue shirts.
Like it or not, this is what I wear.
This is what I wear. Now, sometimes it's baby blue. Other times it's like a deep navy.
Well, either way, it's blue.
It's going to be blue.
And I think once I get that firmness, because I can be, but it takes me to the point where I can get to the firmness, but I have to be like at my wit's end, like, okay, I've had enough. This is what it is. This is what I want. And I don't want to have to compromise, because that's really all that it is.
That is what it is.
I'm compromising. I'm being flexible and adaptable for them and not, no, this is what I want. This is what I require. This is what I'm asking for. And if you can't give me that, then you can exit stage left. I have to. And that's when I noticed that right now I'm in my life and in my season that I'm in, that I have to be firm about what Taria wants. Because if I don't, I'm going to be running around here like a chick with my head cut off. And I'm not going to be able to reach my full potential because I'm catering to everybody else but what Taria actually wants. Of course, I got to do that for my kids, make sure that,
Yeah, it's different.
But everything else, it's not a requirement for me. It's not something that I have to do. If I do it, it's something that's really being added to for somebody else. That's really the root. That's the root. It's the compromising.
It's the compromise. And
because then and this is even more deeper, I compromise because I'm thinking, okay, well, what if? It's a what if question. Well, what if I don't meet nobody else like this? It's a settling.
It's a settling. But that's a fear.
Which does go down to fear. That's why I said I feel like it's all of the above to a certain standpoint, but the base of it is a fear that I'd rather play it safe than take a risk and end up back in that cycle of disappointment, hurt. And I feel like playing it safe is me saying that, I'm living the peaceful life, but that doesn't mean that taking risks can't be peaceful too.
Yeah, it definitely can be peaceful
when you make the right moves. When you make it, what I look at it as, what am I taking a risk on? That be the thing. Because sometimes the things you need to take a risk on, Taria, you don't. But the things that you do take a risk on, you don't need to do that.
Hmm.
This overthinking thing can be a lot.
Hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting because risk is important.
I feel like it is. And I feel like that's what holds me back a lot.
Adversity is also important as well.
Because now, when I don't take a risk, I'm living in the unknowing of I would never know if it would work out. I would never know if I could have went further.
Are you defining regret?
That's what it is. It's the unknown. I won't never know because I'm playing it safe. So I would never know if it could have went left or right because I just stood in the middle of the path and didn't take a step or even ask for direction. This isn't all cases. This is certain cases, more of like relationship or um work.
Work. Interesting. Okay.
But like I said, yeah,
I mean, that sounds like two fifths, maybe one half of life.
absolutely.
Yeah. So one half of life is just play it safe, don't do anything wrong, hope for the best, kind of buckle down type thing. And you know what? A lot of people live like that too. So we're not alone in that. But
You don't really get to experience the fullness of life without and to go to a spiritual standpoint is more of um I don't want to mess up. I don't want to live outside of God's will. I was talking to my friend Shonda and I was saying that how I've been feeling for the past like 45 days or so. Um you remember the story about King Nebuchadnezzar
mm-hmm.
and when he kept worshiping other gods and the gold and all that and then God said that he was going to be out in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm. Eat that grass.
That's how I've been feeling for the past 45 days
Have you been feeling as though you've been in the wilderness or that you've been eating the grass? What are you saying?
in the wilderness.
In the wilderness? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And the very thing that
At least you're not naked, right? Because he was.
right,
Metaphorically, though.
metaphorically.
Shouts out to the first werewolf
Whew.
that we know of.
Yeah, and I'm praying that we don't get at that point. But that's what I mean by like I forgot where I was going with this. But
That's how you've been feeling?
that's how I've been feeling for the past 45 days. Is how he was when God told him, "Oh, it's
Well,
gonna take this much
let's-
time to get back to."
Let's look at this, though, because as believers, we're told that we cannot lose.
Right.
And we're also told that our status with God can never change. And we're also told that even the status that we do have with God, it was nothing that we could have done to even obtain that status. So it's like, whether I lose, I'm still good. Whether I win, I'm still good. So then it's like, why should I be afraid? Because it's not going to change my status either way. And then on top of that, going back to that, I guess, Nebuchadnezzar did get back to his status, right?
He did. Absolutely.
And
It took 7 years.
oh, that's no problem. What's that in a drop of infinite? Nothing.
But the thing is, he did go back, and that's the same thing that Shauna said. She said, "But it's just a quick a quick turn back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is it quick or if I'm going to be out there 7 years?
You won't be out there 7 years.
Because I just feel like that 7 years is a long time, you know? But in all seriousness, that's why my podcast is called Journey to a Godly Woman, because I know that this is not
Destination based.
a destination. It's definitely stops on the way. It's
But
not
even-
going to always be ice cream, rainbows, and peaches.
But even when you reach that destination,
It's going to be something else that's why it's a journey. You got to keep going. And even though I do feel like that right now, I'm still going.
oh, you're enjoying the experience?
No,
No.
I definitely not.
You will look back and say, "Wow, that was an experience." And I'm happy that I went through that experience.
Whew.
Whew.
I'll let you know when I get there.
Absolutely. This time next year, you'll be like, "Leland, you know what? I actually had a really good experience." I'm like, "Really? Tell me more."
No. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely not a destination. It's a journey. And now I know why it is a journey, because you go through, you conquer the thing that you go through, and then you reach some other,
Pinnacle.
there you go. And you got to go through that.
You got an Oribus.
It's like, you know, you're going up a mountain or,
It's a circle, but it spirals.
but it spirals. Yep. That's exactly how I vision it. A spiraling circle.
It's the infinity sign.
There you go. Yeah. This
This might be too deep for some of the listeners. I don't know. You think we should close it down?
I think we should close it.
How can you put a bow on this though for everyone that's listening? For those who
I thought I
who
did.
are brave and Oribus is the Oribus is the
This
is
has
the
been
bow.
like a therapy Thursday type thing.
It's not Thursday, by the way, guys, but just
But it's Monday. But
vibe with us.
I don't know how I would put a bow on it. But I would say that digging through your reflections or your thoughts are important. Getting them out in the open is important so that you can work through it. Because you really don't never know until you actually like speak it out loud. You might have that thought and be like, oh, wow, I do that or I do this or whatever. But it's kind of hard to work on something if you never actually put it out there that this is exactly what's been going on in my life. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope that makes sense for the listeners, but yes, it makes sense.
Okay. If it makes sense to you, then I'm pretty sure it does.
We're okay.
Yep. So
Well,
there was a lot of root digging today. Had to deep down.
yeah, and let's say this though: the importance of digging down is that there are roots.
Absolutely. The only way you get through the problems and situations you go through is if you get to the root of the problem. You gotta pull it by the root.
But before we can see something above the soil, those roots at the very bottom have to grow.
Absolutely. Ooh, that was good.
That's the truth, because a tree is a fantastic example of a human to where we see the physical, like what's above ground, but everything that we're dealing with
It's spiritual.
is spiritual, and those roots to get it above ground have been developed over various amounts of times and different seasons and different environments, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And so even after we finally pull up those roots and cut the tree in half,
It regrows.
it can regrow, absolutely, if we don't change the soil,
Yep. You can change soil.
don't change the environment in which, is conducive for it to grow. So the real question becomes, what do we now do with our soul, aka our hearts, our environment, or our dirt? Like if we don't change that,
Right. That would be dangerous.
well, I guess that's it.
Lee.
What should they do? What should they do, Taria? What should they do?
They should follow me
That's right. And where is that at?
on YouTube at Journey to a Godly Woman, and then we have Spotify, Journey to a Godly Woman.
That's right. Anything for IG?
Oh, I just feel like I'm just kind of like, woo.
You just bled out, huh?
Yeah, yep. You first, so yeah. IG, they can follow me at RE_Rhea, REAH. Facebook is REAH. And then TikTok, that's my favorite. That's where all my people are. They love me on there, and I love y'all. It's MMG1220. I have all content. I have gym videos and daily videos and funny videos. I think I'm funny, but
You are.
I try to be.
You're hilarious.
Yeah. So I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks, Lily.